Good afternoon, Arsenal fans. Neo Masay giving you another video for today. Oh, we got some news we got to talk about. Obviously, a lot of you might have heard that our centre back, our Brazilian sentinel, also known as Gabriel Mago Hayes, was attacked earlier on in the year. I'm pretty surprised that the news came out now, especially when this was about a couple of months ago, from what I'm reading. Glad to hear and see that he's okay. But I gotta say that Arsenal are just littered with superheroes, aren't we? First, Siad Kolasinac is fighting off armed bandits, and now Gabriel is right there fighting off bandits at his home, preventing them from stealing his car. I gotta say that really loving just the sheer character of some of the players that we have at the club right now. So a big shout out to Gabriel and Siad Kolasinac for their hard work, for putting on their cape with the big S on it. I think I got to stop calling Gabriel the Sentinel and start calling him Superman, or at least Super Gabriel and Super Siad. Because those two guys definitely deserve a lot of credit, and yeah, well done, Gabriel, for just being safe, and I hope that nothing like this ever happens to any of our other players as well. So it's it's a it's a real fucked up world, when a man can't even get home when just getting attacked with a baseball bat. People talking about they want the keys to his car. It's just absolutely ridiculous, the type of world that we're living in right now. Whether you're a Premier League footballer or not, or just a dustbin collector, I don't think anybody deserves that kind of treatment and has to go through that. So hopefully his family is okay. Hopefully his mental well-being is okay. Based on what I've seen on the pitch, I should assume Gabriel is doing just fine when you look at Arsenal's recent performances on the pitch. So well done to him for that. But it is time to talk about Arsenal Man United. That will be tomorrow night. It is currently 3:30 in the afternoon on the Wednesday. Arteta has already done his press conference. Some of the things to kind of talk about that has kind of already affected my starting lineup. The obvious one would be Bukayo Saka. Um, Arteta was saying in the press conference, and I'm just paraphrasing that Bukayo Saka could play. Will he play? Not quite sure. It just depends on how comfortable the player is and feel with playing with an injury. And I will say this just right now: if Bukayo Saka has an injury, do not play him. For what? There is no reason to play Bukayo Saka if he has an injury. Like I understand what Bukayo Saka gives, the versatility. I think he fits better with the overall balance of the team. But if he's injured, he's injured, and that's really how it should be. We shouldn't be going bending over backwards to risk Bukayo Saka's health and injury and potentially long-term future Arsenal career with playing against Man United, especially when you have a 72 million pound guy on the bench who you can play, as well as Gabriel Martinelli, who, spoiler alert, should be starting on the right instead of Sacco, who should either be not in the match day squad. Yeah, you know what? Not in the match day squad. Not in the match day squad. No, leave him right there in London. For him to order a doner kebab with chips. And just let him relax and watch the game right here in London. He doesn't need to be part of this Arsenal lineup tomorrow if he's injured. And that's my honest take on it. I unequivocally believe that players shouldn't be playing injured unless, literally you have no one else. And if anybody knows me watching this, I'll call a kid out from the academy. I'll call was it Keto Hart? I think is his name. Play him wide right if need be. Like no way that I think a club like Arsenal should be in a position whereby players are dropping like flies in just one position. But right now we only got one player, so I fail to see why we can't go and do a job and put in a replacement there. So I do expect Gabriel Martinelli to start. Um, in goal, starting from the back, I'm probably gonna go with Aaron Ramsdale in goal. I don't think that should change. Obviously, Leno's still in the doghouse for refusing to sign a new deal, and obviously with Ramsdale coming in and performing as well as he has been, he's gonna have to stay in the doghouse at least until he gets his transfer out of Arsenal. For the most part, at right back, we're gonna go with Tomiyasu, aka Tiramisu, aka the Japanese samurai, just annihilating attackers and just defending for his life out there in our defense. Gotta go with Tomiyasu there. At centre backs, we're gonna go with Super Gabriel, and we're gonna go with Ben White. Sorry, apologies. We're gonna go with Benjamin White and put him in defence. At left back, I'm going to stick with Nuno Tavares. I think this is actually a game where Nuno Tavares will be better because the Man United right back, Wan-Bissaka, doesn't do well to 2-on-1 situations, and we can cause him a bunch of problems on that Arsenal left with a double team between Tavares and Smith Rowe on that left. So for me, Nuno has to stay in this game here. In midfield, I'm going to go with Maitland Niles and I'm going to go with Sambi. I know that Arteta will probably go with Thomas Partey, but for me, again, it's another game where Thomas Partey doesn't quite look at 100%. For me, I'm going with Maitland Niles. He's got the energy, he's got the work rate, doesn't have the final ball, doesn't have the final finish. I get it, but Sambi could be that guy to put in that final ball and that final pass in there for our kind of forward players. So I do think that we shouldn't be looking at a doom and gloom situation. The balance between Sambi and Maitland Niles, in my opinion, should be good enough overall. Then, as I said before, Maitland. I'm going to stick with Emil Smith Rowe on the left, Gabriel Martinelli on the right. I'm booting Odegaard out, Mr. Invisible, in that kind of number 10 or second striker type of role. And we're bringing a lack of blood clot Zet back in here to cause that Man United team lots of damage and also to help Aubameyang out because when Lacazette's on the pitch, Aubameyang plays well. I think it really hides a lot of his weaknesses. And right now in this game, in order for us to even get anything out of this game, we need to be playing at our best because Ollie is no longer at the wheel and there are going to be problems. So looking at their last game, Man United, um, they played a 4-3-1-2. Now, it means that in midfield we might get outnumbered. However, if we play Smith Rowe just a little bit further back and play Tavares going for almost in like a left wing, we can match them up 3-for-3 in midfield, which tells me that like we should be fine going back to the 4-4-1-1 that we've been playing over the past couple of weeks, which is why Odegaard should be benched. They had Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly, and Alex Telles in there as well. Um, then in midfield they had Scott McTominay, Nemanja Matic, and Fred. How did they get a 1-all draw with Bailly and Lindelof in defence? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just shows what sheer organisation could do for a team. And then up front, which for me is the biggest problems, was Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho, and Marcus Rashford. And then you're looking at the guys that are on the bench. There was Cristiano Ronaldo. There was Jesse Lingard, Donny van der Beek, Mason Greenwood, Martial, even though I don't rate him that much. Um, yeah, I see those guys as the kind of main threats. But I will say this. A couple of days ago, I did my review talking about Arsenal against Newcastle, and that I felt that Arsenal would get a loss against Man United just for the sheer fact due to the talent that they have. And I gotta say, not much has really changed from there. And I know when I do these videos, I don't want to sit on the fence because I hate fence sitters. But I'm gonna have to go for a Man United win, just for the sheer fact that this game is away. It's at Old Trafford. Old Trafford. Arsenal don't do well away. When you look at our XG, and Man United's XG, Man United are the favourites to win this game. It'd be great if we could be able to pull out a draw. And if the team that I picked plays, then I think we might be able to pull out a draw. But I can't just ignore the level of talent there that's with that Man United side, and then just forgetting like the X factor out of all of that, Cristiano Ronaldo, which I refuse to underestimate. I've seen this guy play like even at his age right now, baller, absolute baller. Um, so we've got to bring our A game. I do think it will be a competitive game. I mean, with them getting a draw, I think it's very impressive. And I know watching the game that Chelsea probably should have won, probably should have put a lot of their chances away. But Chelsea beat us 2-0. We didn't even score against them, and Man United scored against them. Um, and it will be a difficult game. It will be a challenging one. But I think that we can be competitive overall. So let's see what happens there. So, nevertheless, even though it's going to be a tough game, even though I think Arsenal will be competitive, I'm still going to go with an Arsenal loss. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Man United victory. Um, yeah, sorry. It's nothing against Arteta. It's nothing against Arsenal. For me, I just feel as though Man United, now that Ollie's no longer at the wheel, he's somewhere, I don't know, at the bus station. He's doing something, and like even though what's his name, Ragnick, their new manager, isn't going to start in this game. Now they are actually using their squad. Now things should be better because the players that they have are good enough to finish in the top four. I actually peg them as being a side that should finish in the top four this season. And for me, that I just think that Arsenal are nowhere near the top four. But I think that we are kind of we're the side that at best I think we could get fifth, but more closer to about sixth or seventh, in my opinion. And I think that with this game, without Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there, for me it's just a little bit of a step too far. So that's why I'm gonna go for 2-1 Arsenal victory. I'm gonna go with an Aubameyang goal. I think that he'll make a comeback, especially with I believe Lacazette playing. So I think that we'll get a goal then. But I think Arsenal will be right in there with them. Like I think we will be competitive. I think we'll see a lot of how it'll be like Arsenal in the first half against the Liverpool game. That's what I think. Not as dominant for Man United though, because I think that they're still kind of getting their bearings. Um, but I think that we will be right up there, being competitive. Um, and hopefully I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But for me, I think that the top four from last season, that finish will be the same top four from this season. The order will be different, and that we'll finish somewhere behind them in the long run. But guys, do you disagree with me? Do you think Arsenal will get the win against Man United? I went for 2-1. Do leave your comments below. What you think the thoughts of the game are going to be. Yeah, and don't worry, if we lose this game, like it's not a big deal. These like Man United is not the side that we should be beating. It's the Newcastles, it's the Southamptons of this world, the the Brightons, the Palaces, the Norwiches. These are the teams we need to be slapping in and around. And then the teams around us, like the likes of Everton, we need to like those are must not lose games. We should be getting minimum draws. and potentially wins in those ones. So let's see where it all goes. Um, I am, yeah, I'm pretty neutral on this one. But yeah, I'll be putting out my review on this game on Friday morning just because I'm going to have a late one at work. And we'll be watching the game on delay. So hopefully, I will not be spoilt by some of the goals that I envisage to be going in. So definitely leave your comments below. Please do remember to continue liking and subscribing to the channel. It does help the channel out. And I will see you all on my next video, which there will be a link in the description below.